Well, I am not happy. And I'll tell you why I'm not happy, because I have been busting my butt trying to get this van ready for the Hot Rod Power Tour. Today is Thursday. It's actually the end of the day. Here we go. And I just got back from the alignment shop, because keep in mind, I just put a Beltec drop kit on this van and everything went on great. It was super easy. I just swapped out the freeze plug. I fixed the transmission leak, and I thought, you know what? The last thing we need is to get it aligned. And we're gonna take it to Orion at the window tint shop to do a cool 90s wrap on it. But I called Monday to make an appointment at the alignment shop that I always use, and I always have trouble with them, but I keep going back to them because they're so dang close. Keep in mind, today's Thursday. They just called me and said, hey man, we can't align this. What? Dude, I have to leave for the power tour in 3 days. I don't have time to figure this out. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do an alignment in our freaking driveway. Now, I don't have to get this perfect. There's no reason to spend a whole bunch of time making sure that everything's 100%. So what we're gonna do is straighten out our steering wheel, and we're gonna get it aligned this way. We wanna make sure our toe is close enough to be able to drive straight without it pulling. Then what I'm gonna do is take the wheels off, support the lower control arms so that the weight of the van is on the front end. And then I'm gonna adjust the camber. So once we get that done and I can take it around the block and everything feels good, I'm gonna call it good, and then we're taking this on a 2,000 mile road trip. All right, that's where we want it. I think I'm just gonna do this by eye, because I did that when we first got the drop kit on, and when I took it around the block, the steering wheel was super crooked, but it was actually tracking like perfectly straight. So I'm gonna try to recreate that. Hopefully I can do it. Now, they do make kits where you can bolt on like a piece of angle iron to your rotors, and you can actually measure and all that stuff. We're not doing that today. We're doing a driveway backyard kind of deal here. This is just going to be very basic. Let's just get it close and get it on the road. All right, you guys know what this is. You got your tie rod ends and an adjustment sleeve. I don't have to tell you all that. I'm going to take this opportunity to just kind of break down. Well, give me a minute. They decided to start cutting their grass. All right, so now I want to pull this wheel, the front of this wheel in. So we're gonna go, I think, this way. Decided to jack the front end up a little bit just to make us a little easier. So all I'm doing is just sighting down here. I mean, it's a lot harder to see on camera than it is in real life. But it looks like we got to go out just a little bit. And I'm just doing this back and forth until I'm where we want to be. Like, that looks pretty good to me. All right, let's hop on the other side here. That's how off the steering wheel was. So now we got to kick this wheel out quite a bit. Keep going, keep going, keep going. You know, something you could do too is hook a tape measure on your treads and go from like this center tread to that center tread, same as on the other side. I actually might grab Lauren to help me do that, just to kind of see where we're at. Yo, you need to come here. Here we go. We're gonna do on the front and then on the back. Okay. All right, you there? Yep. 66, like right on the nose. Okay, now give me the tape. We'll go to the back side. Oh yeah, right, sorry.
Got it. Okay.
Okay, so we're a 1/4 of an inch off. All right. You got a minute? Okay. Oh, sorry, yeah, let's try it again. 66 and 3/16, okay? Dang, 65 and a half. Okay, let's try it again. You ready? All right, we got 66, 65 and 15/16, okay? Okay, so we're at 65 and 3/4. We're getting close. I want them to be pointed in just a little bit. All right, so we're at 65 and 13/16, okay? 65, 13/16, perfect, okay, that's good. I've been told if you toe them in a little, like just a little bit, it'll drive straight, like it'll drive straighter, because like each tire's kind of pushing in just a little bit. So it's not like wanting to drift one way or the other, so.
Cool.
Did you hear that? Thanks, Lauren.
Welcome. Nope. Love you.
Love you. So I just, whoa, I'm like really close to you guys. So something else that really grinds my gears about some of these shops. The guy was like, you know, oh, well, you know, we don't align, we don't do alignments on shim vehicles, because the upper control arm gets shimmed to pull the control arm in or out for camber. And I was like, so when I called you on Monday to book this, like your system didn't show like, hey, you know, maybe we shouldn't take this appointment because we can't do this alignment? Nah, dude. So 4 days go by, 4 days that I could have been looking for another shop to do the alignment, and they just, they've been in business long enough to know better. Also, the fella was like, oh, well, your wheel bearings are bad. So I was like, can't you just get it aligned? You know what I'm saying? Like, don't do anything with the camber, just get the toe done. No, man, we can't do that. Your wheel bearings are bad. Like, what? No, they're not, dude. I just went through the entire suspension. As a matter of fact, they look brand freaking new. And when I put everything back together, I made sure that they weren't bad because I have brand new wheel bearings on the table over there. So I know for a fact they're not bad. I think they're just making up any kind of excuse to just not do the work because it's a little more difficult than aligning like a brand new vehicle. I've also had problems with them with aligning other vehicles too. So like, I'm kind of done with this company. So, and you know, normally like I wouldn't be so fired up about it, but dude, like they just put me in such a bad spot with the Power Tour. Like, we're backing out. The wheel's staying straight, that's a good sign. No weird bumping or hopping so far. Steering wheel still slightly crooked, but it's driving pretty straight. Whoa, fella. I mean, I'm giving very little input. We're kind of floating to the left a little, or sorry, to the right. Stopping straight. That's good. Rubbing a little bit on something. So the lower control arms do hit the dust guards for the brakes. That probably is what that sound is. Okay. Steering wheel's a little crooked. It's driving pretty straight, so we're gonna pull the wheels in just a little bit, the same amount, and that should straighten out our wheel. Just got that buttoned up. Let's take her back around the block, and let's go this way. Just heard my first crack of thunder. Yeah, buddy. Whoop, now the wheel's a little too far to the other way, so I did 1.5 turns to try to straighten out the wheel. So I think I'll go 3/4 of a turn back the other way, and that should get us pretty close. Again, we are slightly floating to the right, but we are also on the right side of the road, and these roads are tapered, which means that it's probably, the van's probably being pushed off the road. So like here, I just turned and I didn't correct the wheel, and now we're kind of veering off to the left, but let's try to ride in the middle. Going back to the right. I mean, it's driving. Like, it's not pulling super hard to one way or the other. So really all I'm trying to do is get it to where the tires aren't fighting each other, and where the camber is gonna be, hang on, there's a cop over here. I just realized I drove by a cop, and the van still says free candy on the windshield. What was I talking about? I don't remember. Let's make the adjustment the other way, see if we can't get this wheel straight. Let's see. I went the wrong way. So the wheels, if they're like this, the wheels are now turning that way, and they got to go to the driver's side. Fourth time's a charm. Great turning radius though. Let's see if this does the trick. Well, that's not too bad at all. Look at that. I think I'm happy with that. Of course, we'll take her around the block, get her up to speed, and see how she does. So, all right, let me finish my thought from earlier. The real reason that you keep your tires aligned is to get the most life out of your tires. So if they're not perfectly in alignment, they're gonna wear faster. And that's why you wanna try to keep everything nice and symmetrical and blah, blah, blah. But here's the deal. If a shop's not gonna align your stuff and you can get it pretty dang close, you're just gonna burn through tires quicker than you would if you had your vehicle perfectly aligned. And I mean, dude, this is pretty dang good right here. I'm happy with this. Laura just went back to pick up the kids, so I am gonna wait for her to get back to measure the tires, make sure that we're not out of spec anymore, or my spec. Not touching the wheel. We're just ever so slightly floating to the right. I mean, just ever so slightly. Well, we were just floating to the left there a little bit. All right, let's brake. Brake's pretty straight. We're rubbing that dust guard. I'm gonna call that good. Now let's see if we can get this camber adjustment. If you have positive or negative camber, you're gonna be eating the tread on the inside or outside of your tire. So if I can get it pretty dang close, we're gonna be fine for the power tour, okay? All right, so getting our camber is gonna be a little trickier because there's a lot of variables that go into this. Now with this vehicle, it has 2 bolts that go into a mounting point, and you can shim the backside of the bolts to pull the upper control arm in. So you can adjust how much camber there is on the front and back side of the upper control arm, but we're just gonna simplify this. So I got an angle finder here. We got some thunder coming. I gotta check that, radar. So what I'm gonna do is zero out an angle finder, right? We're gonna zero this out, and then I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna put it on a known flat surface to the tire, which is gonna be the center cap. So we're at 86.4 degrees. So I have to bring this in about 4 degrees to get it to as close to 90 as possible. Another thing I'm gonna do is take a measurement off of a known point in here so I can jack up the van from the lower control arm, remove the tire, and then lower that measuring point to the distance that it needs to be. So I'm gonna use the tie rod end as a known measuring point. So the ring for the boot is about 8 inches off the ground. It is pretty dang close. Well, we got good news and we got bad news. The good news is I checked the rear tires and they're at about 88 degrees. And I checked the front passenger side tire and it's about 89 degrees. And I checked the front driver's side and it's at 86 degrees. So I think if we could just get this one side adjusted, we're gonna be in good shape. The only problem is I gotta take all this back apart. Well, these won't fit, so that's freaking awesome. I'm gonna go trim these up a little bit. See, these are body shims. They're not meant to be for suspension. So I'm just gonna open them up just a little bit. So here's the deal. I don't know if you could see this or not, but this is your upper control arm, and it has a crossbar that goes to either end. And you see right here, this is the bolt that holds it onto the frame. and here's where you put those spacers. So when you put those spacers in front of the crossbars between the frame and the crossbar, so it pulls that control arm back. So that 86 degrees and whatever should change. And honestly, I think that's all I'm gonna do. I don't think I'm gonna, if I get it back together and it's close, that's just gonna be what it's gonna be. Click, click. Click, click. There we go. Now the other thing that we would need to worry about is caster. You know, that's why, like, when you can adjust caster with the upper control. I'm not getting into that. That gets into, you know, a whole bunch of other stuff I don't have time for right now. And frankly, I don't know how to do it. Adjusting toe and adjusting your camber is very straightforward. Adjusting caster, yeah. I also broke my 1/2" Craftsman ratchet, so excited to go get a new one. Oh, free. Click, click. Come here. Come here. Yeah. Let's see how far off we are. What I'm gonna do is back the van up a bit, pull it back forward, because when you set it down, you're gonna be, you know, not right, not sitting right. Hi, buddy. Yeah, buddy. One of my neighbors, man. All right, so we're gonna zero this out. Fingers crossed, we'll be around 88 degrees. Oh, heck yeah, dude. Look at that, 88.8. See, now on the rear wheels, if we go here, we zero that out. .9, 89. Dude, that's good enough for me. I just aligned this van in my freaking driveway. All right, let's get her up to speed. $30, $40, $50. That is feeling freaking awesome. You know what? Cruising at 50 doesn't really feel that bad, and I think, hang on, let's give her some hard brakes. It's pretty straight. Guys and gals, I just aligned my van in the driveway. Is it perfect? Nope. Is it good enough for the power tour? You betcha. This thing is gonna go on a almost 2,000 mile road trip. We're driving this for the entire power tour. We're gonna long haul this van, and it is almost ready. Mechanically, we're there, but there's one last little detail I'm gonna do, but you'll have to tune into the next episode. But we're gonna wrap this thing in a sweet 90s theme. Yeah, I'm digging it. Guys and gals, if you enjoyed watching me struggle during this video, why don't you check this one out over here. If you want to see some of the show coverage I do, you can check that one out over there. Or if you want to subscribe to the channel, that would be freaking awesome. As always, I appreciate you watching. I'll see you in the next video.